All right, so get ready to dive into a deep dive.
Into the depths.
Exactly. We're taking a deep dive into Finspan.
Ooh, Finspan.
It's getting a lot of buzz as Wingspan, but with fish.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So if you're listening and you're curious about how this game works, the basics of Finspan.
Nice.
And don't worry if you've never played Wingspan before.
Okay.
We'll make sure that you're swimming along with us in no time.
Yeah, one of the things that's really cool about Finspan is it seems like it takes the strategic card play from a game like Wingspan, but adds this really interesting spatial element to it, where it's not just about what cards you're playing, but where you're playing them on your player board.
Yeah, so each player has their own ocean board, right?
Yes, and these boards are divided up
Okay.
in a really cool way.
Okay.
You've got dive sites, which represent different locations that you can explore in the ocean.
Ah.
And then you've got zones that represent the different depths of the ocean.
Oh, cool.
So you've got the sunlight zone, the twilight zone, and then the midnight zone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does diving actually work in the game?
So you take your diver Meekle and you place it on a dive site.
Okay.
And then you move down that dive site.
Okay.
And as you move down, you're going to trigger abilities based on the fish that are in each zone.
Okay.
But a lot of the abilities in this game are what are called if-activated abilities. So they only work if certain conditions are met.
Okay.
Like if you have a particular type of fish in that zone.
Oh, I see.
Along those lines.
So you have to really plan out where you're diving based on the fish that you have and the abilities that you want to activate.
Yeah, you really got to think a few steps ahead.
Okay.
You know, like what am I going to trigger here? What am I going to need later on?
Yeah, it's like a puzzle almost.
Exactly.
How to plan this out to get the most that you can out of your turn.
Absolutely. And another interesting thing is you get a bonus for diving in a new site each round.
Oh.
So that really encourages you to kind of spread out your actions and explore your whole ocean.
Makes sense, yeah. I
Yeah.
like that a lot, yeah.
Keeps things interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about the fish cards. How do those work?
So the fish cards are really your main way of populating your ocean,
Okay.
which in turn fuels a lot of those dive site abilities that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Playing fish cards usually involves discarding cards from your hand
Okay.
and spending egg tokens,
All right.
which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Right.
But the thing about fish cards is a lot of them have specific placement rules.
Oh, okay.
So some might have to be played in a certain zone.
Okay.
Some might have to be played in a specific dive site.
Cool.
So it really adds that extra layer of spatial strategy to the game.
So it's not just like, oh, here's a good card, I'm going to play it. I have to think about, okay, where does this fish even go in my ocean?
Where does it fit?
Yeah, exactly. Building a real ecosystem, considering like where each fish thrives, that's really neat.
And then there's this cool mechanic
Oh.
where some fish actually require you to consume smaller fish
Oh, what?
that are already in your ocean.
Okay.
Which is represented by literally placing the bigger fish card on top of a smaller fish card
Okay.
that's either on your player mat or that was pre-printed in your ocean.
That's so neat.
Yeah, so it's thematic and it's efficient in terms of components. And it's also strategically interesting because you have to decide, okay, do I play this smaller fish now for its benefit? Or do I hold on to it to feed this bigger, more powerful fish later on?
What makes that strategically interesting, that consume mechanic?
Well, because it forces you to plan ahead.
Oh, okay.
Do you go for that immediate gratification of playing the small fish now? Or do you think long-term,
All right.
and chef it
Makes sense.
later?
So we've got diving, we've got fish cards.
Yep,
What about those tokens?
the tokens.
Eggs, young, and schools.
They're super important.
They seem important.
They're vital for scoring
Okay.
and for activating certain abilities.
Oh.
So basically you hatch eggs into young,
Yeah.
and then if you get 3 young on the same space,
Mm-hmm.
they combine to form a school,
Okay.
and schools are worth a lot of points at the end of the game.
Okay, so it's not just about having fish, but it's cultivating
Yeah.
like a thriving population.
It's about growing your fish population.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And what I thought was really cool is that some abilities actually let you move young
Yes.
or schools around your ocean.
It's true.
So it's like this extra layer of,
Movement.
yeah, like you can trigger other abilities by doing that.
You can set up combos.
Hey,
You can
guys.
position them for optimal scoring.
It's really neat.
Every decision ripples through your ocean.
Exactly.
And then there are even some abilities that affect all players,
Oh, really?
which I think is a really cool design element.
So even though it's a competitive game,
Mhm.
there's that element of like,
Cooperation, a friendly competition.
yeah, I like that a lot.
They had an ability that let everyone hatch an egg into a young.
Oh, cool.
And then there was another one that let players move a young or a school
Oh, right.
across their ocean. So
That's so interesting. You have to consider what your opponents are doing as well.
absolutely.
All right, so speaking of opponents,
Yes.
how does scoring actually work?
At the end of the game, you get points for a few different things.
Okay.
You get points for eggs and young.
Okay.
You get points for a rows of fish. You get points for schools. And you get points for fulfilling certain scoring goals.
Scoring goals. Tell me more about those.
Scoring goals are kind of like mini objectives
Okay.
that you can pursue throughout the game. So, for example, a scoring goal might be to collect a certain number of fish from the Midnight Zone,
Oh.
or to have the most schools of a particular color,
Oh, me.
or to have a certain number of fish with a specific ability.
Oh, that's awesome. So you could be like, oh, I'm going for schools of yellowfish, and then I'm going for
Exactly.
all the Midnight Zone fish or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that a lot. It adds like a layer of personalization to the game.
It does, yeah.
So while we're all trying to build up our oceans and activate abilities,
Mm-hmm.
we also have these personal goals in mind
Yep.
that we're
Yeah.
trying to achieve.
Exactly.
Okay, and I think you also mentioned that some fish cards give you like bonus points
Yes.
or actions at the end of the game.
That is correct.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so those are called end game ability.
In-game abilities, okay.
And they can really influence the course of the game because you're not just focusing on your current actions,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also thinking about how those choices are going to pay off at the end.
That's awesome. This is already sounding like way more than just collecting sets of fish or something like that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like a multi-layered experience here.
It is.
It's really cool.
It's deep.
Yeah.
It's got a lot going on.
Okay,
But-
in a good way.
Yeah, a lot of strategic depth.
I'm already feeling like, oh, I want to try this.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
I can see why people are comparing it to Wingspan.
Definitely.
All right, so I feel like we got a really good overview of the basics now, right?
But strategically, it adds this whole other layer to the game.
Because it's like you're trying to decide, do I play this fish now for its ability,
Exactly.
or do I hold on to it?
To feed a bigger fish later.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever find yourself, like, regretting consuming a fish?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, I wish I had that now.
Yeah, especially if I had an ability that would have been really useful in that moment.
But then you get that bigger fish and you're like,
But then, oh, it's so good.
but then it was worth it.
It's tough. It's a tough decision.
Tough choices.
And then those all-player abilities.
Oh, yes.
I really like that.
They're so cool.
I'm all about the competition, but I like that there's that element of cooperation.
Yeah, it's like friendly competition.
Exactly.
So, like, when everyone gets to hatch an egg into a young, I just love that.
It's nice. Yeah, it's like we're all in this together, kind of.
We're all helping each other out a little bit.
You know, we still want to win.
Exactly.
It's a delicate balance.
Okay, so those all-player abilities, they can completely change the state of the game for everyone.
They can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can really help you out,
Yeah.
and sometimes it can actually mess up your plans.
Oh, I could see that.
If your opponent does something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and speaking of the end of the game, we were talking about those endgame scoring goals,
Yes.
which can really shape your strategy
Right.
throughout the entire game.
Can you give me some, like, specific examples of those scoring goals?
Sure. So one goal might be to collect a certain number of fish from the Midnight Zone.
Oh, cool.
Another one might be to have the most schools
Okay.
of a certain color,
Right.
or to have a certain number of fish with a specific ability.
Ooh. Okay, so I could be going for, like we said,
Mhm.
schools of yellowfish,
Mm.
but I'm also going for,
Yeah,
5 fish that have the consume ability or something like that.
exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so while you're building up your ocean and activating abilities, you've also got these personal goals
Yeah.
in the back of your mind
Yeah, exactly.
that we're trying to achieve.
Okay, and I know we talked about those end game abilities.
Yes, the secret weapons.
Yeah. Tell me more about those. What kind of crazy stuff can happen?
Well, imagine a fish
Okay.
that gives you points
Okay.
for every school that you have
Mhm.
in the Twilight Zone at the end of the game.
Right.
Suddenly, those placement decisions that you made throughout the
Right.
game become even more important.
Oh, so it's not just about what you're doing right now, but it's like
It's about the long game.
it's like a long-term investment almost.
Exactly.
And the points just come pouring in at the end.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
And they can be all sorts of different abilities. Some might give you extra resources.
Right.
Some might let you draw more cards.
Okay.
Some might even let you manipulate your opponent's boards in some way.
Ooh, now that sounds
He'll take that.
Yeah, a little mean, but also very fun.
It can lead to some really interesting end game showdowns.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, where you're like, oh no, I didn't see that coming.
Oh, man, I'm getting really excited about this game now.
It's a good one.
I can see why people are comparing it to Wingspan. But also, it seems like its own unique thing.
It's definitely got its own unique flavor, and it's very strategic.
Yeah, you're not just memorizing card combinations or anything like that.
No, you really have to adapt your strategy based on the cards you draw,
Right.
what your opponents are doing, the scoring goals.
It's like a chess match almost.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be thinking a few steps ahead.
Absolutely.
And anticipate what your opponent might do.
Definitely.
And those endgame abilities, like...
A curveball.
Yeah, it's like you never really know.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
What's going to happen at the end.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
So, yeah, it's a very exciting game.
I'm feeling very excited. I can't wait to actually play this game.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I would recommend checking out.
The long game.
And there's so much variety in these abilities.
Oh,
Some might give you extra resources,
okay.
let you draw more cards, even let you manipulate your opponent's boards in some way.
Whoa. Manipulate their
Yeah.
boards. And that sounds
Yeah, a little bit of take that,
a little aggressive, but I like it.
little mean, but it's fun.
Man, this game is sounding more and more complex as we go.
It's definitely a thinky game.
I love that.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's not just about memorizing combos or anything.
No, you really have to be adaptable.
Right.
The cards that you have.
And then those endgame abilities just like
Throw another wrench into the mix.
keeps you on your toes.
Exactly.
I like it a lot.
So you got to be ready for anything.
You have to adapt and be ready to shift your strategy at any moment.
It's like a chess match, but with fish.
That's a great way to put it.
You're always thinking a few steps ahead, trying to anticipate what your opponent might do.
And not only have we learned about how to play the game,
Right.
but we've also learned about
Some cool fish.
some cool fish and like the different zones of the ocean.
Yeah, a little bit of oceanography.
So if you're listening to this and you are looking for a game
Mm-hmm.
that combines strategic depth
Yes.
and beautiful artwork.
Oh, the artwork is stunning.
Yeah. And a touch of like oceanic wonder.
You really feel like you're building this vibrant ecosystem.
I highly recommend you dive into the world of Finspan.
Happy gaming, everyone.